Well, it's funny. One of the polls that came out shows that over 70% think that they are casting a vote for Harris because he won't live for a second term.
Right.
I mean, that's insane. And the thing that I find fascinating is that hurts him more, right? I think the irony is that Kamala Harris is so much more unpopular and unliked than he is. It's almost like people are kind of, I want to keep you because I'm more worried about her.
Right. Honestly, and again, this gets to the woke intersectionalism of the Democratic Party. You can't oust Kamala Harris, the first black female vice president. And
Bingo.
yet she's more unpopular than any politician in Washington, including guys like Mitch McConnell or Kevin McCarthy. She's more unpopular than you pick the disease. She's more unpopular than that.
So let me give you, since we're going down this path, let me give you my, because I think you're absolutely right. Look, I'll give you my sort of theory here, which is that Biden early on in his presidency recognized that he wasn't going to achieve much on a normal scale, meaning he couldn't say, I'm going to create more jobs, I'm going to keep us safer, I'm going to do all this stuff. So they came to him and said, we can be the most progressive president, something he had said on the campaign trail. Well, how do you do that? You appoint the first LGBTQIA3PO guy to be your transportation secretary. You appoint the first transgender person to be a 4-star in the health, and it's technically Health and Human Services, but they gets to say a 4-star. He gets to appoint the first black this, the first left-handed person that on this. And it's all about checking boxes so that he can become the political North Star to the progressives, right? That's what I've always believed. And he chose Kamala Harris very clearly because she was the first black woman. Well, I want to hand that off. I, Biden, want to be the person that creates the first black female president. How do I do that? I run for re-election. And then this is where I'm still formulating a little, but he has to make it to the convention. He has to become the nominee. And then either sometime before the election or right afterwards, he hands it to her. Because if it's before that, if it's at the convention, the delegates have to decide it and they're not going to go with her.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you said this. I actually made this point yesterday explaining the process. Until he's locked in, she's nobody because
Right.
she has nothing. He's got to lock in and officially confirm his choice of her at the convention or else.
And
Otherwise,
the delegates ratify it.
Yes, and the problem is that even the Democrats don't like her. I mean, you've got people, all of us on our side, we're speculating, oh, Gavin Newsom. You talk to Democrats, they're like Gretchen Whitmer, somebody like that, someone who can play to moderates as opposed to Newsom. None of them mentioned Kamala Harris.
No. But that's the thing is that in order to get that outcome, he has to it's like one of those game shows where they have to be like, are you locking that in?
Right.
Well, final answer, lock it in. Because if the delegates don't affirm it and he goes to the convention and says, I'm too old, I can't do this, then the delegates are going to decide. And I think you're right. They're not choosing her. They're choosing a Gretchen Whitmer. I have a hard time with Gavin Newsom only because I cannot see the modern Democratic Party choosing a white, straight dude.
Right. Absolutely. That. And I do think, I mean, I know enough of the Democratic strategists. They do think Donald Trump could run a complete Stop America from Being California campaign and win.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Democratic strategists, when you look at Gavin Newsom, where he stands in the polling and public perception, there's a negative perception generally within swing states of California. So you run the governor of California, that actually hurts the Democrats. You run a Whitmer, it's Michigan. No one really knows. There's not a lot of time to define her negatively.
Where is it? It's the hand.
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem, though. Newsom likes Newsom and progressives like Newsom. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, they don't like Newsom.